the other a banana. What you find is that the monkey now refuses the cucumber, and in fact he throws it back at the experimenter and starts slamming his hand. Okay. Now dogs do the same. They've done an experiment with dogs. Same thing. What they did was they asked the dog for, excuse me. You have to ask us.
Yeah, you know what?
You can't just film, you have to ask us.
No, you know what? Be honest with you.
Okay.
All right, cool, fair enough.
Okay. We have to ask both of us.
No, I was about to say that, well, to be honest with you, this discussion is about to come to an end very, very shortly. So if you want to, yeah, you're welcome to stand here, but yeah.
Okay. So,
Content over everything!
what you do is you ask the dog for a high five, like a... Okay, so you get the dog, and it puts up his paw, they call it a paw shake.
Yep.
And you shake the paw. Okay? What you do is you see if the dog will do this without any reward. And they do. They do it with no reward.
Yeah.
Then you see if they'll do it for a reward for some kind of food, like a snack of some kind. Okay? And they'll do it also with the snack. Then what you do is you give two dogs, you give one the snack, and another one doesn't get the snack. And guess what happens? The other dog refuses to cooperate. Okay, so this is considered evidence.
Is that morality?
It is a form of morality because they're saying this is unfair and I'm refusing to cooperate. They have a notion of fairness and how to respond to fairness. Okay, now we also see.
You know, you say emotional fairness, but isn't it feeling ill-treated personally, like creature?
Yeah, we can test that as well.
That's the difference.
We can test that as well.
Okay, go for it.
We can see if other animals will respond if their compatriots are treated unfairly. And in fact, that experiment has been done, and sure enough, they will refuse to cooperate.
Yeah, okay.
You can read a research by Francis de Waal, who's one of the leading experts on primatology, and they've done a lot of these experiments. Read his book. Okay, Francis de Waal, do you want to make a note of that?
Yes, I do actually, because in order for me to have a continual proper discussion without me just...
Francis de Waal, you can read a book. You can just Google morality in animals. There's books on it, there's all kinds of...
And then I'm going to find the comparisons, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Sorry to be diverging from your topic, but I imagine the crux of your position is that animals do matter morally because they are like us in many ways, right?
Well, I do think that, but in the way it came up in this conversation was that he was implying, well, only humans have the ability to reason and have morality, and that's, I think that's not backed up by the evidence.
Okay, not backed up perhaps, but all right, we're going to talk. What I want to get into is how much difference. Do you know what I mean? It's like I understand your point, and you've already kind of proven it. I've noticed you've proven your point. Fair enough, and I respect that point. You've shown me examples of how animals can choose between right and wrong. But I want to now. I need to go back, look into this a bit more, a bit further, and find out what perhaps makes it, in order to reinforce my beliefs. Obviously, what perhaps makes it.
Wanting to reinforce
because
why not
to have a discussion? Because in order to
find out what the truth is.
No, because in order to have a discussion, I can't have a discussion or dialogue with someone where I don't have a stand because I don't know everything.
Of course you don't. So what I'm saying is, when I try and learn something new, I'm not trying to reinforce my beliefs. I'm trying to learn something new. And if it happens to reinforce my beliefs, that'll be pleasant. And if it doesn't, I'll have to change my beliefs.
Can we all agree?
Yeah, of course, for sure.
I used to believe that the climate change was bullshit, that global warming was bullshit. Eventually, the evidence convinced me that it was real. And when I look to learn new things, if it reinforces my belief, that's nice, of course. It's not always pleasant to have your beliefs.
Sorry to just to ask you a couple of questions. What is your stance in general? Are you like an atheist or agnostic?
I don't believe in God.
Okay. Have you read any religious texts?
Yes, of course I have. I've read the Quran. I've read several translations of the Quran.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
What is the Quran? I'm just talking about in general. It was a general.
Well, you're a Muslim, so I thought that was the relevant.
What are both of your positions on veganism? What do you think of the idea?
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's right to eat meat.
I dispute that.
Why?
I think factory farming, very much wrong. The way we are treating animals right now, very much wrong. We're not supposed to eat meat. It's very, very disputable.
Why?
Because there's no history to state that we're never supposed to eat meat.
What do you mean, history?
Throughout humanity.
Well, okay, but until recently, throughout human history, there was nothing against slavery. Yeah. So that's not a very good argument.
What's your definition of a slave? What's your definition of a slave?
Well, why does that matter?
It does matter. Do you argue that going to a job and getting paid? No, hang on. That's what.
Okay, my definition of a slave.
If you're getting paid to do a job right now, yeah.
My definition of a slave is someone that doesn't have the right to quit that job.
All right, fair enough. I agree. All right, cool. We'll come to agreement
that force will be used if they don't.
So do either of you think?
All right. Sorry. So to go back on that. They don't have the right to quit their job. What about people that need to live and pay their rent? Do they have entitlement to quit a job then?
They're legally entitled to.
Okay,
that's what I would define as a slave.
They're tied to the situation regardless.
Well, obviously everyone needs to earn money, and that's not what we would call slavery. I think that would undermine what real slaves have to suffer.
Oh, no, we're not going to compare
Anyway,
it.
the point is, the argument that history doesn't allow it is not a good argument, right? Because throughout history, there was slavery, there was racism, there was genocide.
So just because we've been
history
using
is not
for a long time,
that's not a good argument. That's a very bad argument.
That's still disputable though.
How so?
Because some argue that meat is not good for you. Some argue that there are substances in the meat that is very good for you. We're still not very definitive in this.
Health, you're making a misconception. Of course it is. It's not. It's about
morality towards animals also.
Well, let's put it this way: if you've got a 1-year life expectancy increase from eating children, would you eat children?
Radical, isn't it?
No,
that's like me saying, would you stab your mum for £1 million?
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
This is the point. You're saying
it's not at all the point.
It is, because what you're
saying
going
from
with
one
the health
extreme
argument,
to the other. That's what you're doing.
If you're going to the health argument, it's saying that there have been a lot of studies on whether vegetarians have a significantly different life expectancy than meat eaters. And the answer is they certainly don't have a shorter life expectancy. So your health argument is undermined. And it's certainly
we're still we're not going to jump to any definitive answers now because these are studies that are happening now.
No. But if there was a clear big difference, it would have shown up in the studies, and it hasn't.
Do you think we need to eat anything that comes from animals to be healthy? Or do you think we can be just as healthy as vegans?
I think, like, for example, there are studies now that show you that if you eat a certain amount of nuts and seeds and blah blah blah, you're going to get the same amount of amino acids, for example, as meat. But
well read.
Yeah, all right, well read. Yeah, but however, how much amino acids all of these nuts contain in a gram of meat and comparable and what. To be honest with you, again, you're going into I'm not a nutritionist. All I'm going to say to you is this: that you're going on this is very kind
of. If it's morally wrong, no, this is important because if it's morally wrong to eat meat, and I think it is, so I presume you do too.
I do, yeah.
Right?
A lion hunts a gazelle. Is that morally wrong?
Sorry, you like what?
A lion hunts a gazelle.
A lion also rapes. Lions also rape each other. Lions also kill each other's
human beings.
Right. So we do think right.
Yeah, but all I'm going to say is just because they do one bad hang on. Just because one thing does one bad action doesn't mean they're going to defy all the actions and say.
I'm saying is just
that's what you're doing.
Something is natural doesn't make it right. That's my point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
fair enough. Argument is bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad because you haven't come to me and said. Your evidence is no stronger than mine. Do you understand?
Well, it is.
I'm not coming to you and making any claims saying to you that you have to eat meat, like meat has to, you need to eat it. Okay. I'm not saying that. You're making these statements of saying that it's bad because I do that. However, we haven't come to any. This is like what I'm saying. This is new science, man. We're going back. We're restudying things. Like we can't make it.
Studies have been done. We can make assumptions.
Okay,
studies have been done.
Okay.
Studies have been done, and they show that vegetarians do not have significantly lower life expectancy than meat eaters.
Okay, at the moment, that's what we come to.
That is what the evidence suggests.
Suggests at the moment, yeah.
Right.
At the moment, because what I'm trying to say is these are new studies, so therefore, at the moment, your evidence suggests.
That's what the evidence suggests.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay? But the argument for vegetarianism is a moral argument.
Veganism.
Okay. All right.
Okay, either one.
I don't think hunting an animal, for example, I don't think hunting an animal is bad morally. No. I think if you look at if you don't need to unnecessary, now we're talking. Yeah, of course, we unnecessarily eat too much meat. We unnecessarily I'm against. Let me say something. I'm against factory farming.
But we're not just talking about factory farming.
I'm against the way that people have healthy, unbalanced lifestyles. That they eat meat every day. I'm totally against that.
We're not just talking about factory.
I am not against eating an animal.
But here's the problem.
And I don't think it's morally wrong.
If you don't need to be
why? You should be a Muslim.
Okay, why should I be a Muslim?
Because you should be.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a reason. Here's the difference between us.
All right, what's the reason?
Okay, you've not given me a reason. Or the reason you gave me about the earth was a very poor reason.
No, your evidence was no stronger than mine.
My evidence was much stronger.
No, it was not stronger than mine.
How is it not stronger than mine?
You gave me a statement that said,
are we still on the animal topic?
Have extra, that perhaps, it wasn't even an assertive statement. It said, could presume that it could have extraterrestrial life. I'm saying, what do you mean by extraterrestrial life? Are you talking about bacteria on the floor? Are you talking about some, like, and then we went on to, the, if I may add, the between choices, whether moral, whether humans have, are the only things that have moral, can make moral choices.
Let me ask you a question.
You then said to me that, and actually, I can give you examples where animals do make the choices between moral, right and wrong. And I then said to you, I need to go back to that because I'm not going to just talk about knowledge. I'm going to come and say to you, I'm going to check this out.
No, you should check things out.
Yeah, and then I'm going to come and have this discussion with you again. And then we're going to see the difference between what you consider moral. All right, cool. But I hope we do meet again.
What did you say about animals? Did you say that animals have the ability to choose moral actions?
Yeah, that's what he basically
in some cases, yes.
No, not in some cases. Like, okay, tell us in what cases do animals choose moral actions?
Well, as we said, they have evidence for inequity aversion.
Or what?
Inequity aversion. Have you heard of that?
Now, what kind of animal are we talking about?
In this case, the experiment was done on dogs and on monkeys.
Okay, now you chose one of the most domestic, one of the most smart animals, or one of them is domestic. For example, look, if you...
Well, hang on, which one are you calling, domestic or smart? Because the two are not the same thing.
What's that?
The monkeys are not domesticated, and the dogs are not the smartest.
How am I going to talk to you when you're talking over me? That's impossible.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, look, if you talk about animals, there are, like, for example, you said dogs and monkeys.
Yes.
First of all, monkeys are made in that way. They are like the closest ancestry stars, right?
The closest what, sorry?
The closest beings, like the closest...
No, that's not correct.
They are.
It's not correct.
When it comes to DNA?
No, wrong.
How is it wrong? Can you explain to me?
Well, chimpanzees are much closer than monkeys.
I'm talking about...
You can look it up on a genetic tree, right? Your chimpanzees are closer to humans than monkeys are. Gorillas are closer to humans than monkeys are, and so are orangutans. But they're not the same. Monkeys and chimpanzees are different animals.
To me, all of these guys that climb trees, I look like they're
all of these guys that climb trees. That's a lot of different. Okay, but to a biologist, to a scientist, a monkey and another animal that climbs trees are not the same.
That's what I was about to say. It's a bit
all these guys, they eat bananas, right? They love bananas, right?
So any animal that eats bananas.
Long story short,
I don't like bananas.
Let's just move forward. It was not about chimps.
Okay, now I'm talking about chimps and animals, yeah.
Okay, well, but this experiment was done with monkeys, not with chimps.
Let's exclude dogs and monkeys,
Why?
including orangutans and all these guys, yeah. Because first of all, dogs have been trained by human beings.
Okay.
Right. Some dogs that we have today, if you go back to their where they have been breeded from their nature,
right.
They were carnivores. They like eat meat.
Well, hang on, humans eat meat too.
One sec, man, please relax. Don't talk over me. Let me finish, and then you can say your point.
Okay.
Right?
Go ahead.
So now animals, that's what dogs were back in the days. Through human intervention, dogs became what they are today. Right?
Okay.
And then you have monkeys.
Yeah.
Right? Monkeys.
Yes.
They're smart in their own way, innit? Because that's the way they've been created, that's the way they've been made. That's the way nature chose, that's the way they evolved. I don't believe in evolution.
You don't believe in evolution?
But that's how they evolved, right? That's how they... Wait, my point, we'll get to my point, don't worry about my point. My point is, you said some animals are more moral. They, for example, a monkey would have sex with his mom.
Will have what?
A monkey would fuck his mom, have sex with his mom.
Really? I've never heard of that.
Wait, human beings don't do that.
Wrong. They do.
There are some cases.
It's not true.
They should, morally speaking. Morally speaking, we know the difference between.
Hang on. What's your point?
Morals. We're talking about morals. That's what
where are you going with this?
So you're going to come to your point or not?
No. Where I'm going with this, that
why? Tell me your point.
My point is, you said some animals do have moral understanding and they're able to choose right from wrong. That's moral understanding, right? So which animal can you tell me today that can choose right from wrong?
Okay.
There isn't. There is no dog.
Well, okay. Can I respond now? Sorry. Can I respond to you now?
Go on.
Okay. So first off, what I said was not that animals have identical morality to humans, because actually that statement wouldn't make sense because humans don't all agree on morality. Okay.
I agree.
Right. So what we're saying is, are there traces? Are there some sense of morality that they have? Now you said we should exclude dogs because they've been trained by humans. You also said we should exclude monkeys because they are genetically the closest to humans, right? But first off, that statement was false, okay? Because chimpanzees and orangutans and gorillas, monkeys are more distant cousins to us than the gorillas and orangutans. And the reason why this is important is because the experiment was done on monkeys. I mean, it has been done on chimps as well, but it has been done on monkeys. We also see evidence of some form of moralistic behaviour in mice and rats. So I'll give you an example, right? If you give a mouse a reward, like cheese, and then you see, will it take the cheese if it leads to an electric shock to its compatriots? What you find, let me finish please, right? What you find is that the mouse will actually refuse the food. Now, a similar experiment done with humans. They wanted to see whether humans would electrocute their fellow humans, even without a reward. And they do. This has been done many, many times, this experiment. Okay? Right? So your argument was, well, we should exclude dogs, right? But even when we do that, we see evidence of it in rats, in mice, in monkeys. Okay? So, the argument...
Is that what you call moral?
Yeah, I think it's a form of morality, yes.
Oh wait, the act of choosing what's good for them and what's bad for them.
It was not for them. In this case, they acted selflessly. Okay, they refused the reward because it led to the electric shock of one of their compatriots.
Wait, some birds, right? Birds,
now you can...
some birds in the forest, they're able to choose what fruit is good for them and is healthy and they won't die if they eat it, and what fruit is poisonous, right? It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's not the same. You've misunderstood.
It's the same thing.
You've misunderstood.
No, it's not misunderstanding. It is. Now the thing is that every animal has what's it called? They have evolved in a certain way to
I thought you said you didn't believe in evolution.
There are 2 types of evolvement. For example, when you grow up, you evolve into a very intelligent person, or you evolve into a very stupid person. I'm talking about that kind of evolvement. I'm talking about that because at the end of the day, this evolution thing it doesn't make sense, anyways.
Why doesn't it make sense?
It doesn't make one bit sense.
Why?
So now, I'm not very knowledgeable.
Well, you've just said a major branch of science doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But
are you aware of the evidence for evolution?
I'll tell you. Well, listen. It's not even evidence. It's not even a fact. It's just a theory.
It is a fact.
It's a theory.
It's a fact and a theory.
That's what it is.
No, you're wrong.
Now,
you're totally wrong.
Wait, look at. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're telling me a little cell or little being that was in the water became a fish. That one fish came out of the water and it became all sorts like.
No, that's not. If that's what you think evolution is, then clearly you think it doesn't make sense because that's not what evolution is.
What you're saying,
that's not what evolution says.
Does evolution say that we all come from a simple, one substance?
Yes, but over many generations. It wasn't one animal that turned into a cell and then into a fish and then into a person. That happens over a long number of generations.
You telling me that evolution tells us that everything comes from one substance, right?
Correct. Okay. That's what science says.
Can you tell me what that one substance is?
Yeah, atoms.
Okay, what did that atom become?
What do you mean? What did the atom becomes molecules?
And then what happened after the molecules?
And then it becomes organic molecules, and then it becomes life.
Okay, what was that life? Was it one simple life, or was many?
It would have been very simple.
What was one life? Only one.
Well,
particle?
Are you asking?
Was it one particle, or was different?
No, it was not one particle. It would have been many particles.
It was many
particles. Of course, it would be many.
So, is it possible to say that these different particles, let's say a butterfly, even though, like, obviously, mosquitoes, right? They lay their eggs in water, and then the eggs become mosquitoes later on. Now, is it possible to say that these different particles of life each evolved in separate ways? Obviously, we know, even us Muslims believe that we've been created from water. We've been created from the same substance. We've been created from earth.
What's this got to do with
right?
animals?
Well,
sorry. We were talking about
hang on, but he's got it onto evolution, and I want to challenge him on this. I want to challenge you on this, right? I want to challenge you on this because there's a lot of evidence that evolution happens, right? And when I say evolution, I mean descent with modification. Let me well, hang on, no, because I do want to make this point, right? Right, let me give you a piece of evidence for evolution, okay?
Don't say evidence, but just say what you know.
Well, this is evidence. What do you mean, don't say evidence?
Don't say evidence, but just say something that you know.
No, this is evidence.
Just speak in it.
Okay, I will speak, right? So let's take a prediction that evolution makes, okay? There are a certain number of chromosomes in your body, in all humans, okay? And there are fewer chromosomes in humans than in other apes, okay? So the question is, if we descended from a common ancestor with other apes, what happened to the extra chromosomes? They couldn't have just been deleted from the genome because the organism would die. Right? There's too much important genetic information on the chromosome. So what evolution says is the chromosomes must have fused together, and that's why we have few of them. So if you look at the end of each chromosome, there are something called telomeres. Okay, so imagine my fist is the end of the chromosome, and these are the telomeres at the end. Okay, now if the chromosome fuses, where will the telomeres be in the fused chromosome? They're not on the end anymore, they'll be where? Sorry?
The front.
No. Think about it logically. Right, I've got a chromosome, let's say from here to here. Okay, my fist is the end of the chromosome, which are called the telomeres. If they fuse together, making one new chromosome, where are the telomeres going to be?
We're made of water.
No, it's not at the other end. Just think about it. In the middle, of course, in the middle, right?
You can't say in the middle because
why not?
Basically like a back.
I'm just trying to educate you.
I don't want to be educated about some nonsense.
Clearly, this isn't nonsense, this is science.
But let's go back to that.
No, hang on, let me finish this point. No, let me finish this point. Now, I know you want to talk about veganism, and I do too, but this is important, because we are related to other animals, and if they don't accept that, then they're not going to have much sympathy with veganism. Okay?
Wait, you're talking about...
Let me finish this point.
We're not
let me finish, sorry.
We're not talking about being related to other animals.
Sorry.
As a Muslim, we believe that we all come from a certain pattern. Right?
Sorry, can I just finish this piece?
That is because we're all one. Everything was
we needed to be that.
Sorry, you asked
all from one attribute. That's true.
You asked me.
But the fact that, look, if you told me, because at the end of the day, we are both from water as well. If you told me, right, each particle of life involves
there's not a particle of life. That's a misunderstanding.
All right, let's say, okay,
then let me try and educate you.
Don't educate me. No, you know some bullshit in your heart.
It's not
bullshit. I know some
bullshit.
truth in my mind.
No,
so now,
it's not.
Let's move on.
No. Do you want to listen to the evidence or not?
Because you just talked about.
Let me finish the point. Let me finish the point. I let you finish your point. Let me finish this point. I understand that. I'll let the conversation move. But let me finish this point. Okay. Okay. Let me finish. Just hear it out.
I find it very.
You can't be that close-minded that you can't listen to some evidence.
It's not about being close-minded. It's about how bullshit it is.
Okay. Now listen. Here's what the evidence says. Right. Okay. So if evolution happened, what we should find is that the telomeres should be found, the extra telomeres of the chimp chromosomes should match up with a chromosome on the humans where the telomeres are in the middle. Okay, that is a prediction that evolutionary theory makes. Okay, right. So then what we do is, we analyse the genomic data and we look to see if the data matches what the prediction says. Okay, and what we find is that on human chromosome number 2, there's a telomere fusion site. Right? That is an exact match of what the theory says with the data. But not only that, because there are things in the middle of chromosomes called centromeres. Okay? The centromeres are found in the middle of the chromosome. So if evolution happened and the chromosome fused, then what we will find is that there will be 2 centromeres and they won't be in the middle anymore, will they? Right? I'll show you a little picture so you can get an idea in your head. Right? Well, I'm trying to educate you because you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Educate me. Look, you're trying to fool bullshit. You're trying to fool bullshit.
This isn't bullshit. This is genuine science. If you think science is bullshit, then we'll for you.
If you told me, like, we know that, like, let's go, million years ago, 100 billion or more, millions and billions years ago, when the Earth started, we know that meteors hit the
Okay, look, let me show you.
And these meteors, yeah, they contained what? Bacteria. They had life in them. And by the way, at that time, Earth was evaporating and it had water. So once life hits water, what happens? Life forms. Right? Well, are you turning away from this? Are you turning away from this?
Are you going to let me show you something or not?
Look, the thing is that if
sorry, you were trying to say, tell me you weren't listening to what I was going to say.
Are you trying to convince me?
Well, if you let me show you evidence.
If you're trying to convince me, it's a fail, bro.
If you will let me show you evidence, I will continue talking to you. If you won't, then I won't.
You're talking about prediction. I don't want to like put my mind into a prediction. I want something tangible, something that
this is tangible. This is real data.
But you're telling me it's prediction.
But you're misunderstanding. The way we test scientific theories is the theory makes a prediction, then we go for data that we haven't yet collected. Then if we collect the data and it matches the prediction, then we accept the theory.
Can I ask you a question?
That's how it works.
Do we share DNA with tomatoes?
Yes.
Does that make? What does that mean? Does that mean that me and the tomatoes came from
No,
the
it's
same
not as
ancestor?
simple as that. There are more complex evidences. There's more complex pieces of evidence.
I agree that we are related to all life on Earth. I do 100%.
But yeah, you
agree.
dispute evolution.
But the fact that I come from a monkey and a monkey comes from a fish and the fish comes from something else, it doesn't touch. Because at the same time, from that same
then
fish,
how are we related?
From that same fish that came out from the water,
What do you mean
is the ancestor of a butterfly.
Yeah.
But we share DNA with all life, you know that.
I do understand that. I don't understand that. That is nonsense, man. What you're telling me is bullshit. But do you know what I'm saying, though? Look, it's impossible for you to tell me a butterfly evolved from a fish and I evolved from a fish and a monkey. It doesn't make sense. But if you told me that, look, there was water on Earth, a meteor hits the ground, the meteors contain bacteria, which we all know from a different form of life. It kind of evolved to different beings. That kind of makes sense. But in Islam, what we believe is that before mankind came to this earth, there were beings, and mankind itself was created from Earth itself, the earth that we're in. That's why we have different colours. We've been created from different dust, and we also contain stardust. You get me? So exactly. So the thing is, we agree with all this stuff. But the part they're getting wrong is that we evolved from a monkey by natural, whatever it is, natural selection. Natural selection is bullshit. Well, let's go back to the animal topic.
Yeah. So for me, anyway, it's irrelevant whether you think we've evolved like from animals or whether we were created by a divine being. Because at the end of the day, we know we don't need to use animals anymore in this day and age.
Yeah, but the reason why I would say we've been created by a divine being is simple, right? Because at the end of the day, the way things have been set, like I believe that everything is connected like dominoes. Right. You know when you set up dominoes and you hit one, just like exactly. That's exactly how life is on this planet and within the universe. If you mess up with one pattern, everything else collapses. For example, I'll give you bees, right? If you take out bees from this world, they're very simple. Bees or birds, all sorts of birds. It would 100%.
The system would collapse.
Exactly, it would affect us 100%.
The ecosystem.
Exactly. So now, if you take human beings out from this planet, things will stay the way they are, which means we are not connected to it. We are connected to it, but it's not.
Actually, the world would thrive if we stopped existing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is that we need nature, but nature doesn't need us.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true.
So that's
we've
what
only fucked with nature.
That's Islam. That's what we're taught in Islam.
Yeah.
Like we have to respect nature and we have to respect the living beings.
Yeah. So, do you think Islam and veganism can be compatible then?
Okay. Now we spoke before.
Yeah.
And we established that in Islam we believe that. Alhamdulillah, look, in Islam we believe that eating meat excessively is haram. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, stay away from meat, as much as you can, because it's like it's addiction. It's like the addiction of wine. Right? And the more you consume, the more you get addicted to it, and it's not good for you. That's why in Islam we are encouraged to eat 1 week, let's just say, every week we eat different things. For example, if you eat meat today, like you should give us space to eat another meat.
But do you think we can be healthy without eating meat at all in this day and age?
Well, in Islam, look, it gives you the choice.
The choice of slitting throats.
No,
we don't have to.
What's someone saying? It gives you the choice to eat meat if you want, leave meat if you want. But we have been encouraged, right? If you are by any chance going to eat meat, don't do it excessively and don't eat. Because like,
but how do you define excessive? Because for me, I think excessive is having the option, being able to go to a supermarket in this day and age where we can get completely just plant and be healthy. Surely it's excessive then to eat meat because we don't need to.
Now, if you go, okay, same thing. Look, let me put in difference down. Now, if you go to the market and bought a bunch of vegetables, you cooked it, you ate it, you left some leftovers, so you put it in the bin. That in Islam is haram. You can't waste food. And at the same time, eating something, let's just say, if you're eating a plate and it's for one person, it should be for two. If it's for two, it should be for four. And if it's for four, it should be for 8. Like to the extent that no food should be left. Right? And you can only eat something that you need. Don't eat too much till your stomach fills up.
But you don't need to eat animals to survive and be healthy.
You don't need animals to survive and be healthy. But that's some people's tradition.
But just because something's tradition doesn't make it right, does it?
Best protein from animal, man.
I wouldn't say one of the best protein. I wouldn't say one of the best protein. Because at the end of the day, are you a Muslim?
Yes, sir.
Because look, you can't say we get the best protein from animals. in Islam,
scientifically prove. I'm not making it up.
we as Muslims, we have been encouraged to eat less meat.
Yeah, I know that.
Less meat.
Are you a vegan?
I'm a vegan. Yeah.
But at the same time, look, you can eat meat, right?
Yeah.
We are the same. We are herbivores at the same time, carnivores, right?
Yeah, we're omnivores. Yeah.
Exactly, that's the word for it, omnivores.
Yeah.
We eat both plants and meat because we can digest that, right? And at the same time, the thing is that as Muslims, we are allowed to eat meat if you want to. But if you choose to stay vegan, for the respect of, because today, for example, here in the West, I wouldn't eat that much of meat because at the end of the day, the way the animal's been treated and the way it's been treated.
It doesn't matter how little meat you eat. You can't take a little bit of a cow.
But anyways, you get what I'm saying.
But yeah, I do get what you're saying. But you're still killing an animal when you don't have to, right? Isn't that? Don't you think that's wrong?
Killing an animal, then how are you going to eat meat? Or the people that want to eat meat?
Yeah, but your choice to eat meat just for you so you can enjoy a food shouldn't outweigh the animal's choice to live. You know?
What are you going to do with them?
If you had to do it for survival, I would understand. It's a completely different situation. But we don't need to do it for survival in this day and age. The only reason we do it is because we enjoy it.
The point he's trying to make, you don't have to have meat.
Yeah.
But scientifically, I'm not making this out, you can just look it up. One of the best proteins is coming from any type of meat.
Tell me
Red
one
meat,
amino acid that's only found in animal products that you can't get from plants. Or one nutrient that is only found in animal products that you can't get from plants.
Bro, do you need nutrition?
I've studied it, yeah.
Studied it.
Yeah.
Right. So you're trying to say that the type of protein you can get from meat is
You can
better.
also get from
so
plants.
in vegan, if you do a vegan diet, it's better than.
I never said it's better. I said it's just I can get exactly the same
Because I
nutrients.
studied nutrition.
Let me put this in a different way. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Here in the West that we're living today, in the Western world, it's best for us to stay away from meat. Right, in the Western world. Why? Because of the way the animals are being treated. Right?
It's not about treatment, it's the fact that they're being used in the first place.
Wait, let's get to the point. Because I'm from a country, I'm from a country in Africa, Horn of Africa, Somalia. We have livestock, we have camels, goats, all sorts of stuff. But the thing is that we eat vegetables, we eat meat at the same time. But even though we are eating animals, our animals are increasing. Right? And you know what I mean? They love, for example, look, here in the West, if you let a cow go, that cow will run away and it won't come back. But in Africa, you let the cow go out to graze, the cows will come back for you. They'll come back to the house. Even the chickens, they'll go out eating their stuff outside. By dawn, your chicken, your goats and camels, they're going to be on their...
Look, even if they're treated amazingly, it's still wrong to use them if we don't have to, right?
Look, if people want to use it, then let them use it.
But don't you think animals value their own lives? Do you think animals matter at all?
They do matter.
If they matter, then surely treating them, reducing them into a sandwich,
Do you know
surely
that
that's wrong.
vegetables and some plants have lives? I mean, they live, right? You do know that.
But they are living things. Plants are living things.
So you really think if I was
It's
to...
just that you...
Can I respond?
Yeah.
You really think if I was to rip out some grass is the moral equivalent of me hitting a dog?
Wait, let me reply to that. There was a study shown, the whole documentary that talks about plants, are they living things? And what they did is that they got one of these, one of these climbing plants, like the ones that go and like they climb everything. Basically, what they've done is that those plants, what they do is that they suck liquid out of certain plants that have liquid in them, right, or water in them, like the ones with the most water. So what they've done is they brought a tomato and put it on the middle, right, and then they put a natural normal plant on the other side. So they put on a speed mode on the camera. So what happened is that you would literally see that plant moving, right? It moves round and round and round, then it grabs what? The tomato. Like it sniffs this one, it sniffs the normal plant, turns away from it, sniffs this one first. And then at the end of the day, the plant was able to choose the one with the most nutrients, which is the tomato.
But even
so
in your own religion.
my point is that the plant that you're saying is alright to eat has some sort of, it's a living thing.
But it's not the same as an animal.
But at the same time,
even in your own religion, there's a certain way to kill animals, but there isn't a certain way to kill plants, right?
If a plant is able to choose,
why isn't there a halal method to kill plants?
If a plant is able to choose from two particles of different fruits.
If plants are feeling beings, like you think so, then why isn't there a halal way to kill a plant?
Why is there a halal way to kill them? I don't know why there isn't a halal way because I'm not that knowledgeable.
But surely it's because plants don't feel that it's different.
They have no pain receptors.
They don't feel pain.
I wouldn't know it, but if a plant can sense, right? For example, did you know that plants, when bugs eats a plant, let's say a normal bug comes flying about and then it lands on a certain plant, it's eating the plant, right? What that plant will do, it will release a certain chemical, right? Which attracts other insects that can eat off these other bugs. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, but you do recognise the difference.
Do you get what I'm saying right now?
I do get what you're saying.
What did I say?
You said it releases certain chemicals that attracts other birds.
Yeah, the bird. No, exactly.
That will eat the
bird. Yeah, exactly.
I got what you're saying.
So that means a plant has feelings because it can sense that something is eating it.
They react to stimuli. Just in the same sense, my phone reacts to stimuli.
Doesn't mean it's technology. This is a living thing. Your phone is artificial.
But my point is that the plant doesn't have pain receptors. It doesn't have a central nervous system. It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't feel the same way an animal does.
Because you are not a plant.
So, brother, you really think we should start arresting people for plant cruelty? If I was to pull out some grass, would you stop me?
Would I stop you?
Yeah.
And there's plenty of grass. Grass is everywhere.
Yeah, but would you stop me from pulling out grass?
All I know is that everything on this planet is a living thing.
Okay.
Grass, trees.
But you really think that's the same as me hitting a dog? Do you genuinely think that? You would be equally as horrified by me doing both things. Why not? What's the difference?
You got me there, but I'm just saying, innit?
I got you there. Should we just leave it there?
I'm just being honest with you, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you're right. Like me, I love dogs and cats. Yeah, I don't like people hurting animals. Yeah, right.
But then why hurt them? Why hurt them when we don't have to?
Look,
we can be healthy as vegans, brother.
I know you can be healthier, and as a Muslim, I am encouraged to eat less meat, or don't even eat meat if you want.
And what about values like mercy and compassion, and
unnecessary suffering? Islam teaches that, right?
Yeah.
If he's saying it's unnecessary, so according to your own morality, he's trying to challenge you on that point.
No, you can talk about it. I just jumped in. When you slaughter animals, the slaughtering of the animals, scientifically proven that because we cut one of those nerves, they don't feel the pain. A lot of the pain goes around. The reason why it starts to shake because the blood is leaving the body. That's true. Right. It's 10 times better than what they try to do with the other animals. Electric and other stuff they do. Slaughtering kosher or halal meat is way better than that. There was a whole debate on.
But it's not about treatment for me. So even if they're treated really well, I still am against that.
How about
because it's still using the animal.
I'm trying to say.
How about this? Have you seen that video? There's a video on YouTube. Basically, how about if you grab the animal? Let me give you two scenarios, right? You have a scenario where you have a slaughtering factory where they electrocute the animal or they beat the animal to death, right? That's torture, right?
Okay.
And then you have a guy who brings the animal. I don't know. He let the animal relax, close the eyes, let the blood calm down, because when the animal is beat or electrocuted, that means the blood is in shock.
Right.
And if you eat an animal that has if you eat the shock, the meat that has shock, exactly. Yeah. That's why that's why you see people that get angry,
stressed out and
stuff. Now, basically, the difference is that this animal is relaxed. The blood is flowing as natural,
right.
And these people are very professionals. Yeah. So what they would do, they know the right nerve to cut. So that the animal doesn't feel the pain.
Okay.
And you see the animal just laying there and the blood coming out.
Yeah.
And then simply that.
But surely that's also still killing them when we don't have to.
I know it's killing them when you don't have to. I know it is. But if you wanted to eat an animal, right? Because at the end of the day, some people might say like survival of the fittest, right?
Yeah, but that's not moral.
But it should be wrong.
We don't get our morality from survival of the fittest, do we? Because then we would be like that against each other as well.
Yeah, I know.
We would. Yeah, we would.
Different thing you're talking about, man.
Not at all. Not at all. Because
in what sense?
Because like if it's all about sorry, did I just spit on you? I'm so sorry. You're right. Yeah. Okay, so if we're going to say survival of the fittest is what is moral, then surely that would mean that should apply to us as well. Just because something happens in nature doesn't make it right.
does it?
But this is confusing the whole issue, right and wrong. There is no, in nature, there is no morality.
Yeah.
The laws of nature doesn't function in morality. When an earthquake strikes, tsunami, lightning strikes,
you're not going to blame God for that.
No.
No, but
It doesn't choose. Well, the lightning doesn't choose to kill the bad people and save them.
Yeah.
When a tsunami strikes, it doesn't choose to kill the bad and save them.
I'm referring to animals.
The laws of nature, there's no morality in the laws of nature. Morality is man-made.
Yeah,
We make
I agree.
morality. There's no such thing as
No, but my point is, just because something happens in nature doesn't make it right.
right and wrong is something else.
Yeah.
We make right and wrong.
Yeah, but
and they're trying to build some muscles of strength or strength.
Right and wrong. The problem is not between right and wrong. The problem is between right and right.
Unless they're genetically blessed. Out of 100,000.
are you saying that we're weak? Vegan?
No. I didn't mean that. What I'm trying to say, what I was trying to explain to him was, what I was saying.
You think about how people.
Yeah. So basically, obviously you can see, you can look it up and Google it, watch videos that the people, I'm talking about in sports or any other sports, the people who do strength and conditioning, vegan, you compare the vegan versus the guy who eats meat, any meat, you will see his performance, strength and everything, and muscle-wise, in terms of like growing and everything, is a lot faster than the guy who's vegan. Unless that vegan is genetically blessed, that's a different story then.
But wait, hang on a second. Surely there are world-class athletes who perform at top level.
Any athlete, like for me, for
perform at top
example, when I
level
eat
human
red meat,
performance, and they still are vegan and they perform fine.
People have improved their performances since going plant-based. So you've got athletes that are performing at the top of their game, changing their diet, going plant-based, and actually going better.
it also depends if it's endurance or strength. Like obviously you can't put a strongman or a power lifter.
There is a log lifter, world champion for log lifting, Patrick Babunian. He's a vegan. He's been a vegan for about a decade now.
I thought
And he's still
strongest
smashing
man was
records.
Brian Shaw.
No, I'm saying for log lifting.
Log
For
lift. Nah, I
log
don't watch
lifting.
log
World
lift.
champion for that.
Germany's strongest man.
I'm gonna look it up.
Well, log lifting is not the same as heavyweight lifting.
No, it is. They lift really heavy weights and just lift it.
Like America's only.
Like I said, those guys. The thing is, sorry, I have to cut you off. I'm gonna come back. Those guys, when we talk about strongmen, they are, like I said, genetically blessed. You can put them on water. They will still do better than the average person, the average Joe. So we're talking about on average, like you and I, right? If we get on a vegan and him on the meat, I can tell you from my experience, when I eat red meat, I see the performance a lot higher if I was to be on. I'm not trying to say that vegan diet is a bad thing, but it's
Have you
just
ever been vegan though? Do you really know what it's like to be vegan?
Few months ago, for 4 or 5 months, my protein intake was very low. I did it on purpose.
No, but that's not a vegan diet. A vegan diet isn't just a low protein diet.
I know people who went on vegan. They didn't like it, or it just didn't.
You have to plan it properly. You have to plan it properly. Like any diet, every diet should be planned properly.
I've got no problem going on vegan, but if I'm gonna suffer during my performance at the gym or anywhere,
you won't. My performance has only gone up since
What do you do?
I lift and I also do Thai boxing. And I've thrived. Mate, I'm not saying I'm gonna be a lot healthier than you. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I can be just as healthy as you. And I can perform just as well as you. So if that is true, then using animals is completely unnecessary.
How long have you been doing this vegan?
3 years.
3 years
vegan.
only.
Yeah.
What were you used to do before? Sorry.
I've done Thai boxing for about 5 years now.
No.
I wasn't lifting.
What was your diet before? Was it a healthy or was it junk food?
I was eating mostly like whole foods.
Healthy food.
Yeah.
And then you switched to vegan, healthy food.
Yeah.
So you never ate junk food whilst you were working out as a non-vegan.
I mean, I occasionally eat junk food. I still do. But
you know what happens is when you eat junk food, right? I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying people who just normally eat junk food and they switch to any healthy diet, they will see the difference in their performance and everything. So
yeah, but I'm not saying like I feel a lot better now. I just feel pretty much the same. But my performance hasn't gone down. It's only continued to go up. So surely my diet isn't making me weak.
No, wait.
If I can perform, sorry about
that. Basically, I was thinking about this vegan concept. Right? So in nature, there are certain animals that they have different diets, right?
Right.
You have carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores.
Right.
So so basically, carnivores like eating meat, herbivores like eating both.
Record a little bit.
Yeah, go
That's fine. herbivores like eating meat, and then you have omnivores who are both. Like for example, bears can eat. If bears don't have meat, they can eat plants, and if they don't have plants, they can eat meat, right? So the point is, look, when a carnivore or omnivore being dies, and his body, the body decays, the body becomes what? Vegetation, becomes grass, right? Right.
Yeah.
So when the body becomes grass, those animals that eat the animals that are omnivorous, what they do, so not omnivorous, sorry, herbivorous animals would come about and eat what? The grass.
Right.
So that means it's a cycle. It's meant to be that way.
Okay.
It's a natural course.
Okay.
So basically.
So what has that got to do with us breeding animals into existence, then killing them, and then eating them so that we can enjoy some food?
That is the
so
Western.
enjoy a sandwich.
That is the Western way of life. In Africa, we don't live that way.
Yeah.
In Africa, we don't breed animals, right? Animals are for example, let me tell you a scenario. Back in the days when I went to Somalia, a camel got lost, right? The family didn't go run after it. Didn't say, let's go get it, right? Rather, the camel kept wandering around. When the camel had enough, and he knew that, okay, I can't survive it, he came back.
Okay.
Right? So we give choices. For example, like I said, everything is like, it's a cycle of life. When you die, you become grass. Your body decays to grass.
Okay.
And then other omnivorous beings would eat it, like birds, goats, wherever surrounding that you live in. For example, if you're in the West, bugs would eat your whatever it is.
What has that got to do with us unnecessarily killing animals?
So, wait, the point I'm making is that this is the way it should be.
What?
Right? This is the way life should be.
You made a good point there when you said bears are omnivorous. They can have the ability to live off plants, the ability to live off meat. And yeah, like we do, we can process meat and we can live off meat. But we also have the ability to live off plants. So now living in London, when we go to a grocery store, we have the options of eating meat, we have the options of eating plants that we can live off. Don't you think we owe that to other life that we don't have to kill when we can take plants?
We could do that, but at the same time we have both. Like, look, in other words, look, me, I'm 100% against breeding animals, bringing them to existence just for the sake of killing them and using them. And by the way, you bring them into existence. You lock them up for like years. Yeah. You put hooks on their necks while they're still breathing. Put pipes in their mouth to feed them when they don't want to be fed. Make a hole around their stomachs to put your hand. I've seen all that stuff.
In the egg industry.
I've seen the people as well. Now, why would I support such thing? Now, I understand from your perspective as a Westerner why you are against this animal slaughter, animal killing. It's horrendous. No one can stand what's happening in the slaughterhouses. But me as an African, right, I can choose whether we are balanced people. I can choose whether I can eat meat, whether I can eat plants. Back home in our family, back home in Africa, we have farms and we have animals, right? The day that we feel like, for example, sharks or lions, they like eating meat. But what a lion or a shark would do, a shark won't eat fish from the same place every day. A shark would eat a fish from here, go to another place where he can find another fish, because they want this fish to grow, reproduce, and then after maybe a month or a few months later, maybe the shark will come back to it was. The same thing with lions. They won't hunt from the same place 24/7. Now what we human beings do is that we keep hunting. For example, we fish outstandingly. We fish from the same place, like fish is about to go extinct right now. Right? No. You get me? That's what's about to happen. So now in Africa, what we do is that we let the animals go.
They have a brain, a central nervous system.
Right. So what about they hunt by other fish?
We let animals to expand, to reproduce. We give them time. While they're reproducing and we give them time, what we do is that we eat
rape each other. Do you have a
vegetation, our crops,
the
thing that we've been growing for the past years. We don't depend on one simple thing.
But here
in the West,
they do that.
Summer,
They do that.
winter. It doesn't matter what the season, what the year, what the weather. They eat meat every day, and then also many meat is being wasted all the time. Imagine you made this animal suffer. You put them through horror and hell, and then when you kill them, you're kicking them, you're electrocuting them. Exactly, you're putting them through hell. Now that in Islam is haram, which means forbidden. We don't allow that. Even in the African culture, it's not allowed. You can't do that. So you have to be one with nature. You have to think like nature. Because nature would hunt and eat meat, but at the same time it would look after meat and let it produce.
And living in this country, then, you don't buy any meat.
What I do, first of all, I don't eat a lot of meat. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't eat a lot of meat. What I do is that I eat rice and normal vegetables. I'm a really good cook. I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I'm a good cook. I make my own food. I know my flavors. Right? But sometimes I like to congratulate myself and be like, today we're going to this Somali restaurant, I eat that Somali meat. Like that's once in a while, but when I do, it feels like a drug. Like it hits me, and I just want to go to sleep. But that's the times I feel like I'm not relaxed. It's like, even though I don't smoke weed, but some people, when they want to feel like today's the day, I need to relax myself, they hit a joint. That's me for me, that's what I do. I eat once in a while.
And in this country, every time you buy meat,
vegetables out there for reasons. They get minerals and vitamins from it.
Yeah, but
halal. We don't need to use animals at all for any reason.
But I believe we need to use animals. The protein.
You can't get
actually, there is
you really sincerely believe that.
I'm not sure about Britain, I'm not going to lie. All I know is that all the meat they give us, they say halal. And if they lie to me, they'll be dealt with a higher being that will deal.
But they have it in varying quantities.
So what I know is that there are certain slaughterhouses that would, for example, they would choose your animal of choice and they would do it.
So when you have rice with beans,
and the way they do it is beautiful. For example, if they want to slaughter a chicken, they'll take the chicken and start
gives a gas about that, which has chicken down a lot.
It's just because
I always say the two, kitchen and
because people are not used to eating a lot of fibre.
So basically, they'll take the chicken in
a
private place,
because they don't
slaughter it, like they would hide away from it.
You should be going to the toilet
They don't
3
like
times a day.
the animal consents that it's supposed to think about to die. Animals are telling it too. So you give them that privacy of time, right? You let it relax. There's a ritual and a way of doing it. We don't electrocute them. We don't beat them. And Islam, we are taught that if an animal has been electrocuted or killed, right, or anything like by stone, by kicking, whatever it is, if an animal is killed in a horrendous way, don't eat that meat. It's not good for your body and it's not good for you. And it's haram. That's what I'm saying, bro.
I get what you're saying.
I swear to God, I care.
Within your
vegan versions of meat as well.
They do deeply care.
Yeah.
Like we're just presenting the side of the story.
Oh, you mean I've tried the burgers, the vegan type of burgers?
We don't need to.
Because we don't need to.
The ones with Tesco's,
we do eat animals.
They actually like meat, but they're not meat.
And they're pain. I mean, like
I tried it.
We don't really. I mean, obviously you can have that.
I'd rather eat the real vegetables than eating those.
Torturing, etc. It's a lot worse than just killing an animal quickly. But even on that lower sense, so killing an animal as quickly as possible and humanely as possible, you're still taking away that animal's right to life, which is the most precious, important thing in the world. Like life is the most important. So we should allow them just to live out their life because we can eat and live off other things. And that is more of a balance in our mind.
You're talking about something that's been going on for
life is a beautiful thing.
thousands of years.
But some animals, were designed to be in a certain loop. Like they just do one thing, just one thing alone. For example, let's take a goat. Once a goat comes to life,
I believe in a better world. I believe
all the goat will do reproduce,
live side by side with animals and not
walk about and appreciate the simple things. That's all it would do. Simple as that. Goat's life.
Oh, there's a recent thing I found out.
But hey, bro, you're right.
So many elephants were killed.
It's very satisfying, you get me? But at the same time, you have a lion.
Even animals.
That would ruin the life without goats. Right? But
and why does the lion do that?
because a lion can survive only by eating meat. But also a bear, if a bear saw a sheep, even though the bear sees his favorite plant there, and he sees a sheep here, he will choose a sheep. But he's omnivorous, right? So now what I'm saying at the end of the day, it's a system of design, and there's a purpose behind it. Because at the end of the day, even these herbivores that you're talking about, when other animals die and their bodies decompose, including your body, it becomes grass. and they eat it. So it's a cycle. And then you eat them. You eat like you still eat.
Like, what's the difference?
Again, I think the bear's doing
We are consuming each other, bro. Everything is consuming.
We're evolving. We're evolving all the time. We're moving
I know what you mean, but we are still.
And also, but you know, like say, if we move past like the evolution moral side of it, but animal agriculture is destroying our planet. It's the #1 cause of like climate change and global warming.
But do you know why that is? The reason why that is because we are overusing meat. It's haram to do that. It's forbidden in Islam to do that. You know,
if 7.5 billion people want to eat animal products, that's a lot.
In Islam, we are encouraged to go by with the flow of nature. You see how nature looks after other. For example, like I said earlier, a lion would, you know, hunt other beings, but it won't hunt from the same place every day because it has to let it go and let them breathe and come back.
Far away from nature now.
Exactly.
We're not even part of the food chain. We're almost like some subsection that just does what we like, and we like mass produce it. Slaughterhouses don't exist in nature.
100%, 100%. I agree with what you're saying. 100%. It's not okay. Like the way people are consuming meat today. Even as a Muslim, I'm against it. It's haram, right? But I'm not saying that people should not eat meat, right? Because we are omnivorous beings. Like I told you about the bear, a bear would rather choose a sheep over his favorite plant.
Yeah, but the bear doesn't. We know a lot more than the bear. The bear doesn't really know, like, what's my perfect diet, what's my perfect, you know, options, etc. We do. We can educate ourselves. We learn. We're constantly on that path of just trying to fill ourselves and make ourselves as smart as possible, learning from past mistakes. We know now that we don't need to be eating these products to live healthy lives. We know we can be getting athletes, etc. Can, you know, all stages of life can sustain on a plant-based diet. And that's almost like, because we can do that, we owe the planet that, we owe the animals that, we owe ourselves that. It's healthier for us. We live longer lives on a plant-based diet. There's so many health complications that are promoted when you eat animal products. Heart disease is the leading cause of killer in, you know, the world, really, like Western society, and that comes from eating animal products, like clogging up our arteries, you know, dietary cholesterol.
That's true. Like one of the highest cause of disease today is the meat that people consume. It's not because the meat is bad, it's because the way the animal was treated prior. No, because then, like I said earlier, if you shot the animal, beat the animal, and the blood of the animal is shot, and you eat that meat, it kind of affects you. It makes you stressed, it makes you ill and everything. So now what I'm saying is that the way the animal is treated has a major effect on what's going on through health-wise, you get me? But at the end of the day, as the Muslim, with your vegan movement, I should be a big support for you, because you are you're not part of the problem, you're part of the solution. And in Islam, we are encouraged to support anybody that has a good cause, despite their religion, despite where their background is. You have to support them. As long as they're not encouraging and their background is not a person of evil.
Of course not. Yeah, we're not here to force anything on anyone. We're here just to spread a message and just like.
Me as a Muslim, I would support you. Like I would be like, okay, if there is a day that you guys are protesting and be like, okay, today is the Vegans' Day, I will be happy to join you. That's just the way it is. But it's just the way it is, man. But the way the meat is being consumed today is 100% bad.
The thing is, every time we go into any supermarket and buy meat from a supermarket in this country, we are promoting an industry that is built on, you know, pain, suffering, and misery. Like, because these animals, like these incidents, they aren't one-off cases. This happens a lot of farms around this country. They all end up in the same similar slaughterhouse, and that's the way our meat in this country happens. So every time we go and buy those products, we're promoting it to happen, it continue, and that's what we're saying. It's like when we stop contributing to it, it goes away. And that's what we're heading towards. That's what we're trying to like. Just it's a supply and demand industry.
In this world, in this time of the world right now, the best solution for mankind is to stay vegan for at least 10 years. At least for 10 years, they should stay vegan. The reason why I'm saying that is simply because by estimating the amount of animals that are being killed and the way it's affecting, for example, you know, the animal blood or the animal waste that comes out of the animal waste is affecting the planet. Right? That's true. So if we were off, you know, these animal eating meals, whatever it is, like, it's a good thing that we should stay away from it. But at the end of the day, people want to consume it. But if you're going to consume it and just have a diet, eat meat today, don't eat it a month.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's education.
Words, it's just a word.
So then why is
content over everything from your melanin. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
The inspiration from like certain people that's not really, you know, talk about knife crimes, and I'm just want something positive listen to the present.
Yeah, man. Just get this money, my G. That's all it is. That's what I'm telling the man. Them us as only. Get this money in it. Don't concentrate on the beef. Concentrate on the peas. Beef is expensive and it costs a lot. You get me? Bullets cost a lot. Guns cost a lot. The brethren's life costs a lot. Looking over your back costs a lot. The VOs.